we are again, because game week 42 is upon us. As I say every time, no sooner as one game week finishes, the next one is on us. We have games Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and one on Thursday, one very big one on Thursday. And it's game week number 42. There are 4 games to go. And if you saw the review yesterday, you'll know my view is that things stretched out a little bit. It went the way of the teams kind of already in the spots, and also against the teams already in the spots. The teams at the top winning at the weekend, and the teams at the bottom losing. I said in my tweet advertising this stream today, Leeds and West Brom so close now, and Luton and Barnsley at the bottom. Big shootout coming down there. Make yourself known if you are watching live here by hitting the thumbs up button or getting involved down there in the comments. Looks like we got plenty of people here. The plan is we'll have a look at the fixtures as a whole, then we'll have a look at the table, see where we are, and then we will have a good go. Sorry, Mally's right, 5 games to go. Game week 42. We haven't played the 42nd game yet. Obviously, I'm very sorry about that early mistake here. Hopefully, I won't get punished for it too badly. Hello to everybody in the comments. Looks like loads of you here as usual. Absolutely fantastic. Let's get the fixtures up for game week number 42. All starts tomorrow night, and we're going to go across the 3 days, like I said. So tomorrow night, Tuesday, Forest v Fulham. Wow, 4th versus 5th. That could literally be a playoff semi-final in a few weeks, that one. And it is, if the clocks stop now. Reading versus Huddersfield. Reading, are they on the beach? Maybe not yet. Huddersfield want to be, don't they? Still tied into that relegation zone. Brentford versus Charlton. Brentford keep asking the questions. Leeds and West Brom keep answering them. They're going to run out of questions soon if the answers keep coming. Luton versus Barnsley. That's going to be an epic clash for the ages. I'm saying on that one, loser goes down. Basically, that will be it done. If there's a definitive result in that, even a draw is not good, is it? Big game that. Cardiff, Blackburn. Cardiff solidifying the playoffs. Then on Wednesday, Millwall Borough at 3 p.m. A 3 p.m. Wednesday kickoff. Let me know if you're a Borough or a Millwall fan. Your plans for watching that one. West Brom Derby. That should be very interesting, especially if Brentford, Cardiff, and or Forest or Fulham ends in a decisive result, pushing the top 2 there. In theory, a Brentford win on Tuesday puts them, it's only 2 points a game, but still pressure on West Brom. Wigan versus QPR. QPR on the beach, so good win. Wigan, well, yeah, we'll talk more about Wigan. Sorry, state of affairs there. Birmingham, Swansea. Swansea still got a bit of a challenge, pushing for the playoffs, haven't they? Bristol City versus Hull. Hull, good win for them at the... Oh, no, not at the weekend. They lost at West Brom, didn't they? But Hull, good weekend for them. No results really going against them. Sheffield Wednesday, Preston might be a bit beachy. And then look at the bottom there. Leeds are last to go this week. So a bad scenario for Leeds is all the results go against them and the pressure goes on. A good scenario is they can really put the hammer down. Let's go through one by one all of this games. Let me take that off so you can see my lovely, not tired at all face. And let's get the first game up. And who have we got? Obviously, we start at the top of the league. Leeds v Stoke, as I said, on Wednesday. We'll work our way down. Could you help me out? Get your predictions in the comments for that one. Also, anyone in the comments, keep me posted. Oxford and Pompey are in extra time there. Leeds and Stoke. Stoke apparently a clear the air meeting before their game against Barnsley. Big win that against Barnsley. Direct rival. That's put a nice wedge in between Stoke and Barnsley, hasn't it? There of 5 points and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places as well. If that swung the other way, Stoke would be in a lot of trouble. As you can see, 2 wins in the last 6, only 1 win since lockdown. Leeds in nice form now. If you take that Cardiff game out, that's 7 points in 3, which will be more than enough. I get asked every stream how many points for Leeds. Honestly, it's looking like 6, 7, 8 points might even do it to get them for, 6 points gets them to 84, which would mean Brentford would then need 12 points from 5 games, and it starts to get to the point where Brentford are needing 4 wins and a draw. It starts to become nearly unassailable. In for goal, look at that, 62% chance of a Leeds win, 63 on Betfair. I assume a lot of money will go down on Leeds United to win this one. It'll be interesting to see what the context is when we get to Thursday, in relation to how have West Brom done, how have Brentford done. There is a scenario where Fulham can win, Brentford can win, and West Brom can win, and it's Leeds would then be in second position with Brentford 3 behind. So it's a tough one, but only if the results go against Leeds and the pressure goes on that way. They should be winning this. Look, Stoke have 21 league defeats. Eli says 3-0 to Leeds. Enzo, 3-1. Chris, what are you talking about, Chris? Doubting the bees yet again. I'm not doubting the bees. We had this yesterday. I said it starts to get very hard when they're left with 4 wins and a draw to even tie on points. That's not doubting anybody. Graham says the TV schedule was the same last season. Leeds last to play. Both teams will be up for this one. Leeds not at the magical 2 points per game. No, it's been the bottom of the table where the points per game's been really, really high. Super Leeds win, says James. He's from a Charlton point of view, isn't he? 2-0, says Baggies fan. 3-1, says Adam and Eve. If Bees and West Brom drop points, we will get beat. Yeah, see what happens come Thursday. Bar this weekend just gone. We are always the last ones to play. 2-0 Leeds, 2-1, 2-0, 1-0. Not much love for Stoke there. You would be very surprised if they were to get anything out of this one. But hey, we'll see what the context is on Thursday night, and we'll see how those other games for West Brom and Brentford have gone. But Leeds, strong favourites, you would think, whatever happens there. Right, let's move on to our next game, which will be West Brom, won't it? Let's have a look here. What do we got there? We got West Brom versus Derby. West Brom, some issues at the start of lockdown. Look there, 0-0 against Birmingham, 1-0 against Brentford. But last 2 games, look at that, 7 goals going in. I think Matheus Pereira's got 5 assists or something ridiculous across those 2 games. So he's back and firing now. Charlie Austin's backing up front, and he's scored both of those games. So expect Austin to keep his place with Dean Garner, Pereira and Phillips probably off him. Higazi seems to be playing well at the back since he came back in the team over Kyle Bartley. So it looks like West Brom are fairly well settled into what they're trying to do. But Derby had been playing well. Look, 4 straight wins going into that East Midlands derby. Forest should have won that game, shouldn't they? But Derby did not lose. They got a 97th minute equaliser. Remember, Derby are now going into the mother of all run-ins. Their fixtures go West Brom away, Brentford at home, Cardiff away, Leeds at home for the next 4 games. So I've said it a few times, if Derby are going to do it, they'll damn well deserve to do it. But can they get something from this West Brom game? You would think Derby would be better suited playing against West Brom than they would be. Well, no one's suited playing against Forest. They're very hard to play against. 2-1 Derby. 3-2-1. Don't know how that works. 3-2 West Brom, says DE. 1-1 draw. 2-2 goals in this one. Another 2-2 or 1-1. 3-0. Wayne Rooney's Derby. There they are indeed. 2-1 West Brom. 4-4, Matthew. What have you been drinking, my friend? West Brom will lay down a marker, says Craig. Bigovan with the Villa badge there. 2-2, says Enzo. 2-1. Yes, and Radaby Leeds says, I've not supported Derby before. Yeah, Leeds fans are going to be behind Derby, I think, over the next 2 games, aren't they? Because it was Brentford after that. A few people think Derby could get something. Look, it would be very, very interesting for the automatic promotion race if Derby were to get something. But will they do it? And will they be able to keep West Brom out? 3-1 Derby, says Ridley. 3-2 and a red card, says David. Very specific there. So look, who would you rather have, Stoke at home or Derby at home? Let's be honest, Leeds have the easier fixture, but they're going a day later and 2 days later than Brentford, in fact. Let's talk about Brentford. I suppose I should make a prediction, shouldn't I, on that one? Let's try and hope it keeps interesting and say scoring draw, but you would think West Brom can easily score, not easily, but can score 2 goals against Derby, which would make Derby getting any points very, very tricky indeed. Let's just flash that up down the bottom. It was brilliant yesterday. Loads of people supporting the channel via the super chat feature. So where you type your comments, if you just hit the dollar button, you can donate to the channel. I have 7 days left of employment before things turn south. But in all seriousness, I'd love to make this part of my earnings and live out the dream of talking about football for money. Wouldn't that be great? Brentford versus Charlton. What night is that? That's tomorrow night, isn't it? Have I got that the right way around? Let me just check the fixtures one more time. Yeah, so Brentford go tomorrow night. Brentford just perfect at the moment. Look, there's the 5-0 before lockdown, but let's really look at since lockdown. 2-0, 1-0, 3-0, 3-0. So that is 9 goals scored, 0 against, 12 points out of 12. They have been perfect so far, Brentford. Sensational form. Are they too far back and have they left it too late? They're doing absolutely everything they can. They couldn't be better, yet they are still 5 points and 6 points behind with 5 games to go. They're really, really looking for one weekend. I know they had a couple at the start over West Brom. Really now Brentford are looking for a win in their column. And they only need one team to slip up. You look at the team closest to them, which is West Brom. They really need West Brom to actually lose now. And that would put them within 2 points. Even a West Brom draw keeps them a little bit at arm's length, although Brentford's goal difference is excellent. Ben Rama with a hat-trick last time out. I can't really say anything more about Brentford. And I can't, who was it? It was Chris in the comments. If I'm saying it's a really hard task for Brentford, that's not me doubting Brentford. That's me saying, look, there's 5 games to go and a 5-point gap. Doesn't matter how well you're playing, you need to make up 5 points at some point, which is one team losing 2 games or lose 1, draw 1, whilst you win 2. So in essence, it doesn't really matter what Brentford do. If what was the total amount of points Brentford could get? 87 now. So 87 absolute maximum, and that would mean they'd won 10 on the trot to finish the season, which is unprecedented. Aston Villa, the only team in, 20 years, I think, to win 10 on the trot, certainly since it became the Championship in 2005. It would just be a very, very hard task. Hey, if they do it, they do it. But no criticism of Brentford whatsoever, but it's just a very, very hard task. Charlton, they slipped a bit. They started brilliantly when they came back, didn't they? 2 straight wins, then a draw, 7 points from 3, but home defeat against Millwall, not good. They did create chances in that. And that's one thing I will say about Charlton is that they commit to their counter-attacks. They get midfielders into the box. I think they've probably got a chance of scoring against Brentford, but surely Brentford keep this crazy run going. Paul says 2-1 Charlton. If Brentford get 87, they deserve the dream. Yeah, absolutely. They could miss out with 87. I mean, crikey. Josh doesn't see Brentford losing. Brentford have been amazing. Haven't conceded in 5 games, scored a lot. Yeah, indeed. 5 wins on the spin, says Chris. We've been doing well defensively, James of Charlton says, getting a point. There we go. No chance for Charlton, 3-0. Brentford 2-0. On Twitter there, Keith says Brentford play by far the best football. Goals scored, defence best. Yeah, all very true. 1-0 Charlton, 3-0 Brentford. Bosh. Lots and lots of stuff here. We've got a super chat from Rob. Thank you so much, Rob, who has donated 38 Hong Kong dollars, and that's the Leeds United Hong Kong Supporters Trust there. Thank you, Rob, and I assume you're watching from Hong Kong. All I have is a cup of tea today in a Disney mug, so I can't drink any booze. I must stop drinking booze every day. Shocking, but thank you, Rob. So mainly behind. Oh, I missed some super chats, did I? Was there more than one? Sorry, let me just scroll up. If I have missed more than one. Oh, crikey, there's one from Tom. Thank you, Tom. Keep up the great content. 84 for us, West Brom. Cheers. Means Brentford would have to win 4 from 5. And remember, 4 from 5 means 9 from 10, given they've already won 5 already. Thank you, those two guys. I'm scrolled all the way up. There are no more super chats. Thank you so much for the support. A lot of Brentford's success is down to their recruitment. Yeah, most of it. And their pattern of play. Now I see. There we go. 1-0 Charlton, last minute set play. Yeah, Leeds fans would like that one. Tom says super chats. Hopefully I got all of them. Thank you so much for the super chats. So, top 3, as you'd expect. You'd say West Brom have got the hardest game with both Leeds and Brentford at home to teams lower down in the table, whereas West Brom against 7th place Derby and Mr. Rooney. Who's next? There we go. Pick the bones out of that one. There's your playoff semi-final at the moment. Forest versus Fulham. Very tight. In for goal 40% to 33% in Forest's favour. Betfair have actually got Forest as second favourites there. So you might get a nice price on Forest to win at home there. If you look, 2 wins without Mitrovic against QPR and Birmingham for Fulham there. Forest are in good form as well. They're undefeated. And frankly, they could have won all 4, couldn't they? Because they led against Sheffield Wednesday and really should have beaten Derby in that game there. This is a hard one to call. And we know what we think the pattern of this is going to be. Fulham are going to pass the ball around in non-dangerous areas a lot and have the majority of the possession. Yet Forest always seem to create high-value chances for Lolly and Graben and the like. Interesting. Graham says Forest are awful to watch. I find them quite interesting, actually. 1-1. 1-1 says J-Dog. 1-1 says Leeds 2020. So I meant to put him up. Lots of people on the draw for this one. 2-2. God, 2-2 in a Forest game. 1-0 Forest. 1-0. 2-1. 3-1. Forest 1-0, says Andrew, who's a Fulham fan. 2-1 nil. Nobody's got more than 1 goal in this, have they? Looking very tight, everybody is seeming to think. I just can't back against Forest in a home game at the moment. I just can't see anyone scoring a couple of goals. So, do you know, I think I might go with Forest there. Nick, thank you so much. Let's drink to Nick. Thank you, Nick, for the super chat. Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for supporting the channel. A few people have got Fulham. Rob has come back with Fulham there. Bassam says a bore draw. Yeah, interesting. I'm interested in what people think of Forest because I like tactical diversity. I'm always interested in a game with someone like Fulham who are, quote, trying to play the game the right way and pass it around against Forest, who are a counter-attack team going to play down the sides and really highlight their match winners. But I enjoy games like that. So yeah, and it really could be the playoff semi-final if Brentford keep on streaking away. Cardiff are a fair way back, aren't they? Especially if these two draw against each other, you can really see this getting locked in. I never really know. I'd be interested to see what you guys think in the comments. These ones where you get the playoff game literally 4 or 5 games from the end of the season, whether that makes a difference, whether that plays into people's heads, whether players set up little narratives against their opponents for 3 weeks' time or whatever, or whether it doesn't matter at all. Marcus says Forest win will soak up possession and counter. That's been the modus operandi for Forest all season, hasn't it? Going to be an interesting one. We've got some good fixtures this week as ever in the Championship. Cardiff versus Blackburn. Cardiff in 6th. Blackburn a bit of a way off now. They're in 11th, 8 points off that playoff position. And look at Cardiff's form. Even if you go back beyond the lockdown there, that's the last 6 games, 14 points. That's outstanding. That's very, very good form. I would have thought Derby, Brentford and Wigan probably only matching that at the moment, if someone can check the form table for me. So Cardiff in very nice form. Neil Harris looks like the lockdown was a good time for him and he did lots of good work there. Blackburn, no, not at all. 3 straight defeats there, including against Wigan and Barnsley, who are lower down in the table. Obviously, Leeds, no shame in that, but you'd want to win. Cardiff, 43 and 46% chance. Let's see what you think in the comments. On the beach for Blackburn, Matt says 3-1 there. I can't read that, Graham, but I think you mean Cardiff are going to win. 2-0 Mally. Yeah, everyone is on Cardiff. Yeah, I think I'm with all of you. 2-0 there to Dan Bob. 2-0 Jack. 2-0 Steve. 2-0 Cardiff. Lamushi is indeed a little beauty if you listen to my YouTube channel. I think we need to go for Cardiff in this one. So sooner or later, if Cardiff keep up this run, Cardiff-Brentford is going to be a really interesting playoff game. And dare I say, and I'm not doubting the bees, Chris, in the comments, but I do think you often get a team that really pushes for 3rd and then 6th place, give them a good look at Leeds last season, and don't ask me about Ipswich in the playoffs. So, yeah, could still be a tricky one, Cardiff-Brentford in the playoffs. That's how we're looking at the moment, especially it looks like these top teams are going to continue winning. Well, they're going to have to by definition, aren't they? Birmingham versus Swansea. Birmingham not in good form, are they? Pep Clotet is done to all intents and purposes, but still there. Jude Bellingham is done to Dortmund to all intents and purposes, but still there. Interesting place, Birmingham at the moment. They look safe on 49 points, but not in good form. Not in good form at all there. And shipping goals as well. Look, 3 against Hull and 3 against Huddersfield. Tighter against Fulham. Apparently Camp played well, according to you guys in the comments, but still went under in the 95th minute. Swansea, hit and miss, aren't they? Big win against Borough, lost at home to Luton, drew at Millwall, beat Sheffield Wednesday. They're not on the beach yet, are they, Swansea? I know Millwall have got a better run in. I don't know. I just wonder if you can see Jutkovic forcing something in this one, getting something for Birmingham. Let's see what you guys think in the comments. 1-1 says Katie. Let's scroll up a little bit. We need a Warnock song. That we do. Let me work on that. 0-0 says David. 2-0 Swansea. Colm. Annie. 1-1. Another 1-1. Yeah. We're either on a draw or Swansea on this one, I think, everybody. 1-1 draw, Steve. Am I happy now, Dave? Yeah, I'm happy. I'm always happy. I don't know if you're talking to someone in the chat or me. A couple of Swansea victories there. I think if we were gambling, ladies and gentlemen, here, we'd go draw no bet on Swansea, wouldn't we? Tony makes a good point. Swansea can't afford to drop any more points, especially given they've got Millwall breathing down their neck with easier games. And Cardiff are just on it at the moment, aren't they? So I think I'm going to go for a draw. I just find Swansea too hit and miss at the moment. So I think I'm going to go for a draw in that one. Brewster looks good, though, doesn't he? I was saying on the stream yesterday, do you think Brewster might now become the new Tammy Abraham and he's your go-to guy for a big loan fee, and he'll shoot you, 15 to 20 goals on a loan. What's happening to Colin? Hey, why have Middlesbrough started losing? I do not get it, but they are losing. Since lockdown, 3 defeats in 4 for Borough, who are visiting Millwall in that weird early kickoff on Wednesday. I think when Warnock got hired, we all went, "Oh, Borough will be all right, won't they?" But not looking too good. Millwall there, look, in for goal, 52% chance. That is predicated on Millwall's excellent home form. And then the thing about Rowett is, even look over those last 3 games, just does enough to keep them in it, doesn't he? Only 1 goal conceded across the 3 by Barton goal there. Draw with Barnsley, draw against Swansea. Probably should have won the Swansea game, shouldn't they? I watched that. They were the better side. Good win over Charlton, and they're still in it. And Rowett will keep you competitive as always. Bit of the Mick McCarthy's about him in that respect. Let me just read Millwall's fixtures, because I do find this interesting in terms of the playoff chasers. Borough at home, Hull away, Blackburn at home, QPR away, possibly both on the beach, and then Millwall, Huddersfield on the last day. So Millwall have got quite a nice run, haven't they? So I'll read the prediction, Matthew. 3-1 Borough, 2-1 Millwall, 1-0 Millwall, 2-0 Millwall, 2-0 Wool, 1-0 Millwall. Most of you are 0-0 there. 1-0 Millwall, 1-0 Millwall, 1-1 Millwall, 2-0 Millwall, 2-1 the Wool. Everyone is behind Millwall to do this, which means Neil Warnock will definitely win there, won't he? Look, I make Millwall favourite in this one, and I would quite like to see them give Swansea and Derby and Cardiff a push there. Wouldn't it be great to have Millwall in the playoffs there? Certainly be an interesting team that we haven't had in there for decades, I guess, up at that level. Certainly a couple of decades since Millwall were that high. A couple more. 1-1 says Annie. Borough for win, says Ridley. Gaza, good work. Bunking off work to watching the Wall. There we go. Cool. Right, let's move on to the next one. Just one more plug quickly. Support the channel via the super chat function. Hit the dollar button and you can donate. I'm so grateful for your donations. We've had a couple already, and you can support on Patreon if you want to be a regular subscriber. As I say, 7 working days left before I'm officially unemployed. Right. Sheffield Wednesday versus Preston. Are we on the beach with both teams there? Get your predictions in. I'm not seeing much green in the wins, in the form columns there. Wednesday went under to Swansea, and they were beaten at home by West Brom. They've been rubbish for a while, actually, Sheffield Wednesday under Monk. It's been a huge slide since that Bristol City game. I think they went 3rd, didn't they? I'm trying to remember where that was. Let me just bring up Wednesday on my iPad really quickly, because I did that game. They were definitely 3rd. We are going back to, crikey, 22nd of December. And then since then, God, 3 wins in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, about 19 games, if I've counted that right. So Wednesday have been bad for a while and slipping under Gary Monk. Please don't ask me about the FFP here, and I don't know any more than you do. We're expecting something very, very soon, but then we have for ages. Preston have gone off a cliff as well. This could go anywhere. This could be one of those mad 3-3s, double on the beach team there. In for goal, quite hard for Sheffield Wednesday in this respect. Sorry, bad turn of phrase from me, but there we go. Let's have a look, see what you guys think. Wednesday 2-0, 1-0 Wendy's, 1-1, 2-2, 0-0 dead rubber. Remember, Tony, dead rubbers tend to go the opposite to 0-0. They can be crazy, don't they? No one can defend in them. 1-1 or 1-0 either way. David, 0-0 and 0.00001 on the XG. Yeah, the Huddersfield Preston one was pretty ugly, wasn't it? 0-0, 1-1, 1-1, 1-0. Oh, Ed, I must give Ed a plug there. The Streets Never Forget podcast finest. I will be on the Streets Never Forget podcast. I think it's coming out at the end of the week, talking about Premier League eras and my team Ipswich Town in the Premier League. So do check that out. The Streets Never End podcast. Beach League, deck chairs 2, sun loungers nil. Here's Russ from Cottage Talk as well. Listen to Cottage Talk for very good Fulham coverage. 1-0 Preston on that one. Isn't on the beach game. Let's go with a silly 3-2 to Preston or something ridiculous. But gonna be a beach special, that one. Bristol City. If anyone can help me out, I've forgotten the name of the caretaker manager at Bristol City. But the point is, Lee Johnson is no longer Bristol City boss. And if you look there, you can see 4 defeats on the bounce to Blackburn, Wednesday, Forest, and Cardiff. And look, when we look at the table, it's blindingly obvious what the Bristol City ownership have done. Bristol City there, 5 games to go, 9 points off the playoffs. They are not going to make it, and they're not going to make it. We're not going to take it anymore, said Steve Lansdowne, in the words of Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it. It was Twisted Sister. Hull, they're digging it out, aren't they? Look, 4 points in 4 games, given what's happened to Wigan and the fact that both Luton and Barnsley lost. They're okay at the moment, Hull. There is a cushion. Remember, we're looking at Barnsley, and it's a 4-point gap. So it's just going to be very, very interesting if there is a winner in that Luton-Barnsley game, how that affects Borough and Hull. I suppose all of the rest of the bottom teams are going to want Luton and Barnsley to draw 0-0 because they don't want to be tugged and sucked back by anyone. The worst result for everybody down there is a Barnsley win. But we'll talk about that game in a minute. Let's talk Bristol City and Hull. You've got one essentially on the beach with no manager. But sometimes we get this weird thing when a manager goes and a caretaker's there and you get a performance. So David says, draw against us, Borough. Think Hull will win this, says Eli. Tigers to thrash Bristol. Hull are abysmal, says Graham. Don't mince your words. 2-2 says DE. A couple of Hull wins in here. Greetings from Russia, says Katie. Hi. From Russia, with love. I'm getting very partridge today, aren't I? It's not good. 2-1 Bristol City, says Anir. 1-1. We're very mixed on this one. 0-0. Craig says sack manager, probably 4-2. Yeah, that was the sort of thing I was saying. 2-0 Bristol City. 2-2. Oh, we're going to get a height joke. Go on, the chosen one. Lee Johnson fell short of expectations. Sadly for little Lee, he did. Oh, is it going to penalties? By God, the Oxford playoff game is going to penalties. So I'm just flipping that up on my phone. Is it? Yeah, I'm about a minute behind. So let me know how the penalties are going. I had Oxford before, so that's going to put the kibosh on Pompey's promotion. No, it's going to put the kibosh on Oxford's promotion, normally knowing my levels of predictions. Keep score, please, someone in the comments. I think my stream's behind yours. So Wigan, oh, sorry, I didn't make a prediction. Let's go for a strange Bristol City reaction and they'll win 3-1 or something. And they should have done it under Johnson. Wigan versus QPR. I don't know what more to say about Wigan. Outstanding, incredible form. Crazy ownership stuff, administration, pretty much nailed on relegation. A defeat at Brentford is nailed on at the moment because Brentford have beaten everyone. But can Wigan start a run now? They're effectively on 38 points, so they're 6 off safety. Can they go on a run and get a win? I mean, they basically they're in 3 wins, 2 draws, 4 wins and a draw territory. But what we'll say about Wigan, 3 games in a row here after this one. Barnsley away, Hull at home, Charlton away. Basically, if Wigan win 2 or 3 of those games, they will put themselves within a chance of the greatest escape there. QPR, they're in my on the beach league, at the moment. But they did have a good win, didn't they, up at Borough? So they are capable of doing it. I think just out of pure solidarity for those poor Wigan players, I'm going to predict a Wigan victory in this one. But we don't know whether their heads have gone, whether the 12 points will just cripple them and they'll not get any wins at the moment. But certainly they were on amazing form. And, I mean, losing to Brentford's no shame at the moment. 6-4, Matthew. Nice one. 3-0, Graham to Wigan. 3-0, Chris. 2-2. 2-1. Lots of... I'll be pessimistic. 1-0, says Katie, who knows more about Wigan than most of us. 1-1, 0-0. Nothing for QPR here, guys. 3-1, 1-1, 2-1 Wigan, 2-0. Wigan's story is a madness, Mr. Bloom explained. I'll try and do a full video. I'll see if I can get Kieran actually, and we'll see what we can do there. But yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? If we stay up, our players and managers need a knighthood. Simon's repeating this. 3-6. Who's the on the beach league? Well, QPR are on the beach league, aren't they? QPR win 2-0. Their DE thinks it. Our Price of Football doing a podcast on Wigan today. Okay, maybe you won't want to speak to me then. But please pray for Oxford. Do Oxford deserve my prayers after taking 4 points off Ipswich this season? Let me know how these penalties are going as we carry on with this stream. Look, I'm going to go for Wigan in that one, just out of solidarity to Paul Cook and Kiefer Moore. There we go. Reading versus Huddersfield. What will Reading doing at Luton? Doesn't make any sense to me at all. Look at that. Draw, defeat, 5-0 away win. And Maite scored 4 goals. Huddersfield are basically going to try and stink this out now and try and not concede any goals. 2 clean sheets. They've definitely, the Cowleys have said, right, look, just make yourself hard to beat and don't go down with a whimper, basically. They look all right at the bottom of that table, don't they, Huddersfield, with that 5-point gap. But, I mean, look, someone is going to get dragged down this weekend. But remember, like I always say about the relegation thing, the relegation issue does not move if none of the bottom 3 win. Remember, one of Barnsley and Luton are dropping points, and Wigan have got QPR. So all it takes is Wigan draw or lose to QPR and Barnsley and Luton draw. There is no relegation. There'll be no movement. So that's the only issue. We always get winners pushing up at the top because it's the top by definition. But that's the only issue. And, I mean, that's what happened last year. Obviously, Bolton and Ipswich were so terrible. I think I looked. Rotherham were relegated with 40 points, weren't they? Am I right? The standard so much higher this season. Do you know what? I think the Cowleys might Cowley this one. Reading on the beach as well. 3-3. There we go. 1-0 Huddersfield. Eli says 5-0 again, hopefully. Ian, a Reading win. 1-0 Huddersfield. 2-2. We're fairly mixed, aren't we? 0-0. 3-1 Reading. 3-3. Are Forest going to make the playoffs and win them? Well, they're definitely going to make them. They could win them. You never know. Look well set up to not lose, don't they? Reading 1, Huddersfield 1. Another point closer to the 50-point mark, says Oliver. Yeah, they go up to 47 with a draw. 2-1. And then Steve says it the other way round. Enzo says, good luck to Wigan. I hope they can sort the mess they were put in. Yeah, check out Kieran's podcast on Price of Football and see what he's got to say, because he will... he'll have some connected people feeding him information. Put it that way. Do I understand football? Are you talking to me, David? I don't understand. Katie is a football fan. Leeds fan who's been through this. It's horrific when your team gets hammered for non-football reasons. Yeah, not good. 2-0 Reading. Pompey up first. Oh, okay. The penalties are starting. Would Wigan Estate be greater than the Rotherham 15-16? Definitely on a par, wouldn't it? I think given how late in the season the deduction's gone, and the fact that they would have had to basically win for about 3-4 months in a row. I'm not including the lockdown, but it's been a hell of a run. So, yeah, and Jay says we're going to need 13 points. That's 4 wins and a draw from their last 5 games. Teams at the bottom of the league don't score that. Apart from Wigan have been scoring that amount of points. It would be sensational escape. Right, who can call that one then? Go on. Luton versus Barnsley. Sorry, just having a quick swig of my cup of tea. Both sides were in good form. Both sides were not losing, particularly Luton. There you can see Barnsley had 7 points in 3, and then both sides completely just tanked at the weekend. It was like they've been sprinting and sprinting to catch up with everyone, and they just ran out of gas. So I hope that's not it for the season for both of them, because they've both been quite good fun, Luton and Barnsley, haven't they? They don't just sit there and try and dirge it out, maybe like Huddersfield will do, and actually stay up. But both teams seem to have been thrown into situations by horrible starts to the season. Both teams changed the manager. And is it too late for both of them? What I will definitely say with this one is, if you lose this game, I think you're done, aren't you? Luton would then be 4 behind Barnsley if they lost, and Barnsley would then be 2 behind Luton. And it would be 4 games to go, and presumably there'll be some other movement above them. Maybe it's not as drastic as I'm making out, but it's a really big shootout, this game. And given the results of the weekend, I've got no clue how this is going to go. And there'll probably be goals, knowing these two teams as well. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oh my God, 2-2 on penalties. Colm says 2-1 Barnsley. Man, this is big. Going to be a 0-0. There we go. 0-0 just won't do either team. It just will not do. Luton dosed out a draw at Leeds. Yes, they did 2-1. Is that the penalties? There we go. Luton 1-2. 1-2 to Barnsley. Katie wants to draw. Of course she does, for Wigan's sake. 2-1 Barnsley. 2-1 Barnsley. 0-0. Yeah, something silly like 3-3 wouldn't surprise me. 2-1 Luton. 1-0 Luton. God, we're all over the place with this. Oh, God, neither team can defend, can they? Martin actually is a Luton fan. There we go, 2-0 Luton. He's in on that. Pompey, 3-2 up on Pens. Has anybody missed in the shootout yet, or is everybody scoring? All I'm getting is 3-2. Someone put up the X's in the zeros. So Matthew says, up Tykes TV. Yes, go and check out Tykes TV. So Luton Barnsley, absolutely huge game. They're down at the bottom of the league. Ian is saying a 3-2 win for the Hatters. Let me just throw up. Let me see what I've got. I've got 3-2. How far am I behind you guys on the penalties here? 3-3. See, I'm behind, so my phone's not picking it up. 3-3 and nobody has missed. Go on, someone call this penalty shootout then. Someone's going to choke in this and not get to the Wembley final. We assume Wycombe in League One are already going to get there. Ewan says, Oxford 1. Is it all over? Has he got a quicker stream than everybody there? 3-3, no miss, says Simon. We're handing over a little bit to League One here. Dale says 7-8. Is that the final score after extra time? Who's got the inside track on this? We're getting lots of different information. Pompey have missed, apparently. Even if Barnsley win, they have a terrible run in. Anthony makes a very good point there. Barnsley's last 3 games are horrific, aren't they? Leeds away, Forest at home, Brentford away. Yeah, it might be all over. There, we have a penalty missed from Pompey, apparently, in this shootout here, which I can't see. Are people making this up? 12-11 to Oxford on sudden death. Let me bring up my Twitter and see what's actually happening here. You guys pulling the wool over my. In the meantime, we can go to Q&A. Let me bring up Oxford's Twitter and see how quick on the uptake they are. Oxford United FC 4-4. It says in this Twitter feed here. Any questions coming in? Ewan says Oxford already won 5-4, giving the game away there. Let me just give one more quick plug on the ticker there. Support the channel via the Super Chat function or by subscribing on Patreon. Thank you to the kind people who have got involved in the Super Chat. If you have any more questions, we can stay on a little bit longer. Philip says, hey, Ben, looks like you're making that trip to Northampton next season after all. Yes, we can go and see Ipswich play Northampton next season. Joy, so am I right? Is this final now? Oxford It's likely to be Oxford-Wycombe in the playoff final. Am I right? I think it's all over there. Yeah, Oxford win. Right, let's do some questions here. West Brom, Derby or draw? I went for draw just to kind of throw a wrench in the works for the top two running away, but not sure. Where am I looking? Sorry, there was one other question before that. Do I think Brentford will get autos? Don't get triggered, Brentford fans. I just think it's going to be so hard. They're going to have to be pretty much perfect until now and the end of the season. So what I will say is if they get autos, they will have done it against the odds and they will damn well deserve it. Who's going to be docked points in the Championship? Well, there's only two people who can possibly be docked points at the moment, unless someone else goes into administration we don't know about. But Sheffield Wednesday could be docked points and Derby could be docked points. Surely we will find out soon, but I don't know. Can we determine the Beach League after midweek games and predict its final standings? Yes, you could have Preston fully join the Beach League soon with Blackburn, Bristol City, QPR, Reading and Sheffield Wednesday. Maybe a Birmingham win could propel them up into it. Fleetwood to do a Northampton. Well, that would be the comeback of all comebacks indeed. Out of interest, what's the best Championship ground concourse? I don't know. My values on concourses are pretty snobby. I want to walk in, up not many stairs. I want to be able to get to the betting thing, buy a drink nice and easily. I have to say, Derby County and your heaters in the top of the concourse, that's lovely. But then how middle class, the Brentford one where you have a little tea stand out the back, although that's all going to be gone very, very soon. Let's go for Derby just because of the heaters. Oxford win. Would love to have seen Pompey and their fans in the Championship. They'll be back. Don't you worry. Wigan at the moment are a top 6 team, so could get the points. Yeah, Robin, they could. It just looks like they're going to need to be like a top 3 team in terms of, 12 points from what were we talking about? Well, there's 5 games left. So my definition of a top 2 team is 2 points per game, as you all know. So yeah, they're going to need they're on 38. 10 points would then take them to 48. That might do it if someone has an absolute nightmare. So Pompey can't win a playoff game. Shame. Neither can Ipswich or Derby. What teams would you like to come down from the Prem? From a numbers angle, I guess you want Villa and West Ham. You know it, Graham. Look, I've got a really good relationship with Norwich fans, I have to say. So that'll be good for the channel, and we're nice and friendly despite the Ipswich rivalry and whatnot. Villa the same. So this looks like it's going to be Villa, Norwich, and Bournemouth, doesn't it? I know nothing of Bournemouth. I've never been there, so that'll be a new one on me. I think Leeds will win the league and get promoted in the same game at Derby. Looking likely. Looking likely. Where am I looking now? Matt, who is the biggest S-house in the Championship? Surely it's Sean Morrison. Surely. What a guy, hey? Jamie Vardy's the best, though, isn't he, for scoring and just being awful to every set of fans he comes up against. Fleetwood and Wycombe, away they go. Get your predictions in for that one. Good luck with that. Surely Fleetwood all out attack in there. Leeds, West Brom and Forest to be promoted. What's my thoughts? Yeah, that's likely. The issue is someone's going to have to beat Brentford at some point, and no one's doing it at the moment. But we have seen teams go on mad runs and then lose in the playoffs, haven't we? So, although remember Charlton in '98, I think, fact check me on this, I think they won 8 on the trot to get into the playoffs, and then won 3 consecutive games in the playoffs. So there is a precedent for Brentford just flying all the way through. They're great Charlton team with Alan Kirbishley and Clive Mendonca. Oh, Wycombe's been delayed, has it? It's very nice of Sky TV. Leeds and Forest going up the same year would be epic. It would be epic, but it'd be a bit sad for us Championship to lose 2 big clubs in one go. Round of applause for Animation. He's an Oxford fan in the chat. Congratulations, sir. Enjoy the playoff final. That coming from a football fan of Ipswich who's seen no success in God knows how long. Do I think Derby v Cardiff could be the playoff decider? Is that still happening? Is that still in the fixtures? Let me just bring that up. Oh, in which case, yes, in 3 days' time. But look, Derby have still got to be in it. They've still, they can't tank in all these hard games. It could be irrelevant at that point. Dom. Thank you, Dom. We drink to Dom, a £5 super chat. Thank you, sir. He's rewatching and he's turned up late. No problem. Another nervous week. Don't panic, my friend. Don't panic. I've just been working on a bit of Leeds content, actually. So, yeah, look out for that one. But thank you for the super chat. Please, if you want to support the channel, you can get involved in the super chat. Poor old McGinn, was that him who missed? Yeah. It sucks when professional players and they're knackered and they're not bad players and they miss a pen. There we go. Jay says, I think teams will be relegated on 51. So Barnsley have to score 10 points to be relegated for that much. It might be a bit lower than that, Jay, but certainly when we said Ipswich were terrible, weren't they? Like 31, I think. Bolton 30 mid, and Rotherham was 40. So still by far, everyone's past that, apart from Wigan, but that doesn't count, does it? Well done, Oxford. I think we'll get behind that. EFL are culpable in the Wigan story. It would appear that the EFL's fit and proper persons test has not worked. So, yes, I agree. They may well be culpable. But as I always try and say and sit down the middle on here, let's wait. I know it's no consolation for Wigan fans. Let's wait and see what the evidence says and what actually happens. But, yeah, it could be that the EFL have had the wool pulled over their eyes. Remember, bad people do bad things, and it could be that they, said all the right things and then have just pulled the rug out from those poor Wigan players. Katie says we have to beat Barnsley and Charlton. Look, there's some games down there where they could do it. Just be heartbreaking for Wigan to get close and then not make it. If Barnsley win our next 2, can you see us sneaking one of the hard games to get to the 50-point mark? Yes, Eli. The way that could happen is that by the time you get to the last 2 games, Forest are already locked in and definitely playing Fulham and just either playing for home and away. And you could get a situation where if Brentford, say, lose a game and West Brom are already up, where Brentford might give some guys a rest in the last game against Barnsley. Remember Huddersfield and Birmingham a couple of seasons ago, where Birmingham needed result to stay up. Huddersfield were already in the playoffs and they made 8 changes or something crazy. So, look, there is a possibility that things could work in Barnsley's favour. Remember, though, if Brentford are still in with a shout at the top 2 by that last game, Barnsley ain't winning that game, are they? Ewan, hopefully it'll be Norwich, Bournemouth and Watford. Watford would be nice, given my locality, but Aston Villa would be nice for size of club, let's just say. Sam Morsey is, and what a glorious one he is too, Katie. Anthony, Wigan, Barnsley and Luton. That would be where the money's going. Steph Johansson for the biggest S-house indeed. Bailey says, QPR to hold on to Asahi Samuel. We've got some offers from Turkey. I think QPR will sell Eze and keep... I think they might sell Manning as well, actually. But I think they'll keep Asahi Samuel. That's just my hunch. I've got no insider stuff on that. I think Brentford will lose in the playoff final if they don't get second. It does happen now and then to third place teams. Remember, I'll do another video on this. Check out my video last year. The third place, 6th place thing is a myth. Generally, third places do outperform everybody else in the playoffs. So there is a bit of a myth that says, oh, you finished third, you're going to lose. It's not actually the case. I'll do the numbers again for this year and we'll do another video for that. Forest have done the double over Brentford. Yes, they have, and I was there at the second game for those. Our derby, the Villa of last year. And Rooney is Grealish. If they win 10 on the trot, then possibly. But the thing with Villa is I think they were always going to get in the playoffs with their squad, weren't they, and their spend. And it just the run just came when it did when Grealish got back. Whereas Derby haven't actually looked like that. Would be, out of nowhere. Big club bias. Who? Me? The EFL? The channel? Let me know, Chris. All winning runs come to an end. Brentford have peaked too early, says Paul. Indeed. Where am I looking? Sorry. Scrolling down. I think there might be an outsider, not in the playoffs at the moment, who will get promoted. It's happened before. It's fine. You've got Villa coming back. But in terms of the big clubs, there you go. Well done, Oxford. Yeah. I feel sorry for the guy who missed the pen. Always the way, isn't it? If Leeds go up, you should join All Leeds TV. We'd love to have you. Anthony, I'll be there with bells on if I have the time. Could they afford the transfer fee, though? Benjamin Bloom to All Leeds TV. I reckon Derby could beat West Brom and Leeds, but will come unstuck against Brentford. Interesting. Ewan, I think Derby doing what Villa did because Villa lost in the playoff final and then won next year. There you go. There's another parallel from Ewan. Craig, Leeds are going up. This has to be our year, surely. Think we only need 3 wins. Do you know what? I get asked this so often by the Leeds fans. Craig, I think it will be less than that, mate. Honestly, you probably get the 3 wins, but look, 3 wins and that's 87. So that would mean Brentford would need. Yeah, Brentford can't score more than 87, can they? So it's not going to be 3 wins if you're on 78 points. I just think it would be a mighty collapse. It would take one of Leeds or West Brom now to score 1 point from the next 3 games, which put them on 78 and 79. And then if Brentford won all 3, they would be above them, or 2 wins and a draw. But it's going to take that type of collapse. And can you see? I mean, West Brom, maybe they've got the look. Leeds are not going to collapse, are they? But look at West Brom, Derby, Blackburn, Fulham. That's not the easiest week, is it, with Derby and Fulham in there? So we'll see. How bad was Sean Harvey as EFL chief? He was terrible, wasn't he, Matthew? I think we all know that, but it's all a bit late now, isn't it? Simon Jordan, I know he's had a pop at me on Twitter a couple of times, but made a lot of sense on TalkSport today. I've retweeted it, so check that out. David says, what did Katie say? They shouldn't deduct points until it's been investigated. There might be some sense in that, but I think it's written in that Bosch automatic and then investigate afterwards, and then it'll probably be too late. Can't see it being that much given the Wigan points deduction teams playing each other. Yeah, maybe. Richard, Derby have a massive say who gets promoted playing Leeds, Brentford, West Brom. Matthew, what are you talking about? I'm going to skirt over that one. Yes, Leeds is right. Alioski is a massive S-house. Of course, we know that. It's nice to see fans of clubs admitting that their own players are S-houses. That's great. I hope Leeds ruined Derby's playoff hopes. There you go, Thomas. San Basal is the biggest S-house. There we go. Right, let's do a few more while we're still on here. There's a controversial one. Dublin Blade says Wednesday, Wigan and Luton to go down. He's expecting Wednesday to get deducted points then. You got some inside line to Rick Parry there, Dublin Blade. B's never won playoffs in 8 attempts. No way. If we have to go that route in front of an empty Wembley, my God. I didn't think it was that bad. I know Ipswich and Derby are both 8 appearances, 1 win. Man, that's terrible from Brentford, isn't it? I know that you keep talking about it for Brentford to win 10 on the bounce, but past results have no bearing on future chances. So from this point, they need 5 on the bounce. Yeah, but fair comment, David, fair comment. I'm just saying it would be unprecedented that 10 on the trot would be a hell of... Look, 5 wins on the trot's hard enough. But, hey, if they do it, wow, what a run that would be. Does Dean Smith deserve to keep his job if Villa go down? I think spent 140 million before Prem and had a great squad in the Championship. So has he done a good job? I'm going to defend Dean Smith on the basis that the Villa model was with really sailing close to the win with FFP. Here comes a new share issue and some new owners with North, East, South, West, or whatever they're called. So the business model was the same as Wolves. It was expensive loans, but short liabilities and hope you get up. That's not Dean Smith's fault. Dean Smith went in there. He worked with that business model. He did get them up. He should have got them up. If you have Grealish in your team and Abraham in Championship, you should be getting promoted. Come on, let's be honest about that. But remember, the 140 million is essentially backloading the investment for the Championship. So I don't think any of that's Dean Smith's fault. And they had to spend that much just to get a team vaguely similar to the one that went up on the basis that Mings, Tuanzebe and Abraham are on loan. So I would keep Dean Smith, but then I'm soppy in that respect for some managers. I don't think you can blame the spend on him. Obviously, I haven't seen them every week in the Premier League, so I don't know how the pattern of play's been. You'd think they'd be fairly solid to get back up if they kept him, but it doesn't always work out that way. Luton, Barnsley, Wigan to go down. The Leeds bottle job is coming. That's Matthew's words, not mine. Leeds fans, leave me alone. Waffler says, can you see Leeds go? Oh dear, don't. You're going to get me loads of thumbs down on this. By the way, if you're in the chat, thumbs up. Please get your thumbs up. Always helps other people finding it. Really feels it's Derby's years after countless failed attempts. It seems that Rooney will get them in the playoffs and they'll get promoted to Wembley in front of no one. Rooney's capable of doing it. Just the issue for Derby, nothing against Derby. I'm just stating the facts. Everyone thinks so. They take it personally when I say their team's got to do something difficult. Look, here's Derby essentially are about to play West Brom, Brentford, Cardiff, Leeds, Birmingham, and then 2 other top 6 teams over 3 games if they win the plus. It's just a hell of a hard run, isn't it? I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm saying it's really hard. You'd rather be mixing it and having some easier games to put your points on. But there you go. Luton have put planning permission in for a training dome. Lovely stuff. Yeah, good luck to Luton. I do like Luton. Bielsa has our players off Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and all social media. Some of our supporters are mentally draining. You said it. That Leeds fan base is, come on, let's be honest, they are insane, aren't they? They're one of the most intense fan bases you can get, and your biggest strengths are your biggest weaknesses. When it's behind Leeds, it's a 12th man, but when it goes against them, yeah, it can be mentally draining, as Mike says. But I'm sure the Leeds players wouldn't change it for the good times, would they? Where will Bristol City finish next season if Chris Hughton gets the job? Top 8, I think. Leeds TV has some serious talent up top. Emma Louise Jones. I'm not going to comment on that one, but yeah, I get the joke. Forest year in the playoffs, never done anything in it. Come on, you Reds. I spoke to David Johnson about that Sheffield United playoff game, and that haunts him. Mr. Bloom needs a new trim at once. I am happy to announce that on July the 20th, in however many days that is, I will be going to Watford to see my friend Daryl, and he's going to cut my hair. It's happening, don't worry. It's not going to go short. But Nick says, Pompey in League One still, yeah. We're going to Pompey next year, Nick. The EFL has been urged to suspend Wigan's points deduction. Who by? Dale, let me know who that's by. I'm sure they've been urged, but do the people carry any weight who've said it? How many points realistically to see Leeds up? It's the most common question. I need a number now, don't I? Right. Let's say Brentford are not going to be superhuman and they're going to win 3, draw 1, and lose 1 of the last 5, just on the basis of probability. There's no hunch to that whatsoever. That's 10 points, which would mean Leeds would need 5. 1 point per game. Easy! All the relegation teams have got 1 point per game. Alioski is my favourite Leeds player, indeed. Wigan have gone up off playoffs ever. Haven't gone up. Read Joey Barton's book on that, Katie. There's, yeah, there you go. Your next comment. Our last players when we lost to QPR. Some good insight there. Villa, the new Leeds. Maybe. Loans had to be replaced for Villa. Many contracts ended as well. About 15 out of 14. So that's, yes, Craig. I think you're singing from the same hymn sheet as me. I don't blame Dean Smith for that. I blame Dr. Tony and that regime and Robbie Di Matteo and Steve Bruce's horrible spending, frankly. And like Norwich, they got out of an absolute pickle, didn't they? Eli, I also think Wigan and Luton and us will go down at this point. Oh, shame, Eli. Let's be honest, though. Barnsley, Wigan and Luton have been a lot of fun, haven't they? And bear in mind, my team got relegated bottom of the championship and contributed precious little last season. We can't say that. Villa played well against Liverpool. Didn't see it. If Derby get playoffs, no Keogh cursed anymore. Oh, is Keogh cursed in the playoffs? Let me know his result. If I had to pick 3 teams you think will have a good shot of fighting to go up next year, excluding those in the playoffs and coming down, who would it be? God. Let's have a look. Well, Derby, because they're not there. Can Millwall keep it going? Bristol City, if they get a good manager, got good infrastructure. But like I always say, you're looking for teams in year 2 of their plan, and that's not many. That would be QPR, Reading under Bowen. Have they got the players? Can Blackburn keep pulling rabbits out of hats? Preston, they seem to outperform themselves, don't they? Sadly, Bailey, you're looking at Norwich and Villa when you're looking for the favourites next season, and we'll see how Bournemouth do. I think there's some rumours Eddie Howe's going to stay, isn't there? Watched Derby at the weekend, wasn't really impressed. Yeah, I know what you mean. He says, was that a typical performance below par? That was a below par performance, but you have to give Forest credit because Forest are very good at squishing teams up. Richard, I'm a Leeds fan and I'm not insane. I said intense, and I said the fan base as a whole was insane. Not you, of course, Richard. You're wonderful. It was on Sky Sports, the Benjamin Bloom football channel. Oh no, okay, Sky Sports with the trying to help Wigan out. Yeah, that would do, wouldn't it? Manager of the season, Marcus. I can't say until promotion because if say Koku gets promoted, Lamouchi, Frank, Harris, it's probably one of those two, even over Bilic or Bielsa. So Keir Starmer, Lisa Nandy, Andy Burnham, and there's been okay. I asked for the info, you guys delivered. Let's see what becomes of that. You can see they haven't deducted the points yet. So hey, look, I feel badly for those Wigan players, so I wouldn't be against it. Right, I think we're pretty much close to the end there. Ipswich got 4 points from us last season, yeah. And God, one of those games was hopeless, wasn't it? The Bielsa program was on Sky apparently after the Stoke game. I thought they were going to wait for promotion, that one. There we go. We did beat Leeds, yeah. Quite how, I don't know. Favourite to go up next season? Oh, stop it. Chris says, Forest are an anti-football side. That's interesting. Anti-football. You sound like Arsene Wenger there, anti-football. Keogh has been in the playoffs 4 times in the last 6 seasons and lost every time, including giving QPR a 90th minute winner. Oh, my God. Favourite championship moment of all time, Zamora at Wembley for me. Favourite championship moment, Roycer, Premier League. If you're an Ipswich fan, you'll know what that means. Oxford v Wycombe, the dream playoff final. No, it's not Leeds 2020. The dream playoff final would have had Ipswich in it, winning. But there we go. Keogh was great last season. I feel for him. He'll never get to play in the Premier League. It was Rue's fault, really, dropping the ball in his own net. What is it with Derby? And sorry, Roos's fault and the playoffs. Also, how good was Keogh for that Jack Marriott winning goal? He bursts out of defence and plays like this perfect first time through ball. Is this a request to sing? Don't you know? Pump it up. The Whites are going up. Follow the girl who plays the saxophone, whose name I've forgotten. Wears the Leeds shirt, and she's done a very excellent version of that. Akinfenwa in the Championship. It's coming, possibly, Craig. Ipswich would beat Oxford and Wycombe. There we go. Right, this week, can someone help me out here with the Sky Games? Which ones am I doing this week? I'm likely going to be live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Get your request in. Oh, wow. What a super chat. Dan Van Cleef, he's been here before. £20. That is so kind. So kind of you. Thank you so much. I would love to see Bielsa in the Premier League for 1 season. Would his style work? Of course it would work. He needs a few players, though, if he's going to play that style. But, Dan, that is so kind. Thank you so much. Yes, born and bred in Ipswich. You couldn't tell. I've lost the farmer accent. There we go. Addy says, I voted for a YouTube channel. Oh, thank you, Addy. Very, very kind. November, I think. I don't think we find out until then. This is the Football Content Awards. But I'm up against that Togden lad who's got about 1 zillion followers. So Joe Lolly just keeps scoring from long range. Of course he does. That's what he does. Smash the like button, absolutely. What have we got here? Leeds with a better side against Arsenal. FA Cup, pinch of salt there. You've got to take that one. Yes, West Brom Derby, I will do that one. That should be great. Stoke Leeds. Yes, I'll be doing that one. Fleetwood have scored, have they? Hey, Ewan, have you got your feed seems to be ahead of everybody else's. That's cat amongst the pigeons, isn't there? 4-2. Yeah, Fleetwood 1-0. Who scored, guys? Because Madden's suspended, isn't he? Is Glenn Whelan playing as well for Fleetwood? Can I just say a huge, huge thank you? Who was that? It was Dan Van Cleef. That's very, very kind. Huge super chat. And I think we've had 3 or something in this. I know it's world's smallest violin, but I have been a teacher for the last 4 years in a school, working 4 days a week. That job now, quote, doesn't exist because of the regulations, and the school can't approve the budget for next year. So I don't have a job. In my wildest dreams, I'd love to be able to work part-time and do this part-time. And you kind people doing these super chats is so fantastic. I'm really overwhelmed that it's so well supported here, and the thank yous, they come across insincere sometimes because I say it so much, but it is so kind of people to go out to work and then give their hard-earned money to support somebody. Ewan's at the ground. He's on the ground in Wickham. Game on with Fleetwood. Amiobi the next Messi. Good luck with that. Clough. Love Fleetwood and Joey Barton. There we go. Right. I'm going to bid you guys all farewell. So who are we doing tomorrow? Oh, my God. We're doing Leeds on Thursday and Stoke. We're doing Derby and West Brom. Is that tomorrow? Don't even know my own timetable. No, I think we're doing Forest and Fulham tomorrow. Derby and West Brom. Do you know, I really want to do Luton and Barnsley, to be honest. Let me know if you're a Forest and Fulham fan. We'll see what the numbers say. But yeah, Luton Barnsley seems like the one. Right, let's do some shout outs there. Shout out to Mally, shout out to Katie, Enzo, Adam and Eve, Leeds 2020, and the chosen one. Get in there if you want to shout out. Mike, you guys are awesome. And we should be live every day this week. I might be able to get a couple of football news updates and things as well. There you go. Eli wants Luton Barnsley. Shout out to Hip to the Game, who's been here a while. Villa fan there. Thank you, Stuart. That's very kind. Says I deserve my success. David, thank you, sir. Martin, the Luton fan there. Tony, shout out. Chris, shout out. Up the bees indeed. Right. Thank you guys so much. At Benjamin Bloom on Twitter. Please, before you press stop on the feed, just hit the thumbs up button for me. That really helps me out. Not that you guys do enough. You're amazing with all the comments, and the super chats is just out of this world, next level support. So thank you guys so much. Go and enjoy Fleetwood and Wickham. I'll try and get a football update out tomorrow morning. I can do that early doors. Quick kind of shout outs there. Craig and Gaza, who's bunking off work to watch Millwall on Wednesday. Right, I'm going to go. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Shout out for Charles there as well on Twitter. And I'll see you, well, pretty much every night this week. So just keep following on Twitter for the announcement of the streams. Remember, for the 5 o'clock kickoffs, I'll be live at 4:30 and then at halftime and afterwards. And we'll try and do the review. Do you know what? We might roll straight out of the Leeds game into the review, because if Leeds win, there'll be 7 million mental Leeds fans online, won't there? And we'll just keep going from that. So there we go. And a smiley face from Adam. I don't know. Right. Thank you so much for watching, and again for your support. Go and enjoy the playoff semi, and I'll see all you guys tomorrow. Hit that like button. Over and out.